CSGO's Inferno remake has almost reached its 7th anniversary. With the release of Counter-Strike 2 on the horizon and the recent addition of CS2's Inferno remake to the map pool, I wanted to make another map comparison, but this time in full detail of CS2's Inferno versus CSGO's. This is how CSGO's Inferno used to look like many years ago, until Valve took the map out of the active map pool and replaced it with Nuke, I believe, and then released the remade Inferno a couple of months later towards the end of 2016. And this was the version that we're all too familiar with and we've played on for almost the past 7 years at this point. And this is CS2's version of Inferno. The difference is just incredible to see. Something I would like to highlight with these screenshots in particular is the increase in the building's heights. With the initial version of Inferno in CSGO, we didn't have too many tall buildings, and when compared to CSGO, it becomes very apparent that these buildings got a lot taller, and if you compare it now to CS2, these buildings have gotten even taller, and the verticality is just so much more than what we used to have. It's just on a much bigger scale, to be honest. And I personally think this makes CS2's Inferno just so much more believable and just makes it look so damn good. Personally, it's just really nice seeing how much Inferno has changed over the past years. There's something special about seeing these different iterations. CS2's Inferno has seen some iterations of its own as well, which is pretty interesting to see, so I just wanted to briefly talk about this. This was second mid in March of 2023, and this is how it looks like now 4 months later. I think quite a big difference here, especially detail-wise. Moving on to T-spawn, this one is one of the more significant changes here. I think the final version just looks so much better than before. We have this area right here in front of T-spawn, which has received some tweaks to its colors and some other small adjustments as well. Moving on to Bombsite A, which has once again received some more significant changes. This one looks a lot less dusty and just so much more detailed. I am as shocked as that building still is. And Valve has now given it teeth, which I think is pretty nice. Good job, Valve. I cannot unsee it anymore. Second mid looks slightly different and has now its Skybox, which looks visually very stunning. We will get back to that one a bit later on. And Bombsite B once again has received some more significant changes, which you can see here. Pretty nice. Last but not least, we have Church, which also looks pretty fantastic in both versions, so I'm not really too sure which one I prefer here. But I'm glad they made these changes, because the Inferno we ended up receiving looks visually very stunning. In fact, it looks so well put together that you may start believing people actually live here. Kudos to you, Valve, for making such a visually pleasing map and also listening to player feedback. But let's get back to the comparison now. Inferno is still Inferno. Most of its layout has remained roughly the same, but there are a couple noteworthy changes. Jumps that were previously possible in CSGO still work in CS2, like this self-boost here on A side. However, the skill aspect of that jump has been significantly reduced, as even I can pull it off now, so I'm not really too sure how to feel about that. The wall that allowed players to hide behind in Graveyard on Bombsite A has been removed. This used to be a popular hiding spot for either CTs or Ts after plant, and it no longer exists now, taking away a very powerful location. On Bombsite B, the wall next to pool is significantly shorter now, which will make it basically impossible to hide behind. I really tried my best to get the bot to hide behind it, but it just really doesn't seem to work anymore. I guess Valve wasn't too happy with this position. The jump from car to the wall on Banana is also still possible, and actually feels a bit easier than it was in CSGO. This corner on Banana has been extended and can now be used as cover a lot better compared to its CSGO version. And this corner has been widened in comparison to CSGO's Inferno. In the middle of the map we can also see that the corner here has been slightly changed, which I think is pretty interesting. But not only things that were present in CSGO have seen changes. There are newly added spots or props which could give you a new angle to hold from. Library, or as I like to call it, the wine cellar, now has these shelves you can stand on to get an elevated position. There's this brand new prop here on A long, which you can stand on as well. Not sure if this will ever be used, but it may catch some people off guard. Apartments on A side has this new ledge which you can stand and crouch on. There's also this heater element in apartments which players are able to stand on as well, opening up a weird position to hold apps from. Middle also has now these 2 elevated positions that you can stand on. There's probably more locations like this, but these were just a few that I wanted to point out, which could possibly open up some new gameplay possibilities. But I think this is enough about gameplay. Let's just appreciate the map for what it is, because there's more to the map than you may think at first. Storytelling. The T-spawn area features the arrival of the terrorists who have made a really dramatic entry, crashing through a local cafe or restaurant and scaring away all the tourists that just arrived. Leaving in a hurry, the tourists left their plates, cups, and cutlery behind. Except a few people, which seemingly just took theirs home. Or those seats were just never taken, but I like to imagine some tourists just being like that. The city spawn features some sort of storytelling of how they arrived as well. On the road below we can see their armored vehicles, using their grappling hooks to climb up the steep wall and arrive at their spawn location. Nice attention to detail. Even for the bomb sites you can sort of think of a storyline. Bombsite A seemingly being a wine storage of some sort at first glance, turns out to be more than that. Peeking into one of these wine barrels reveals a scary sight to see. No wine. I think some people may be kind of upset about that. Well, and obviously rockets of some sort instead. Maybe they're trying to eliminate their competition. While Bombsite B now finally has the finished church, it seems like the terrorists are not happy with that, and want to take down that building alongside with the fountain and everything around it. It also once again features these sort of rockets. I wonder how these got there. Nicely done, Valve. This map truly turned out to be believable, with lots of attention to detail and just overall a really beautiful scenery. This has led to a lot of areas that I really like, be it kitchen and tea apartments, which genuinely looks like how I would imagine an Italian kitchen to look like, the apartment complex in general, which no longer seems like some sort of afterthought, the Bombsite A, which makes a lot of sense now, or the stunning side of Bombsite B. What used to be library now being a wine cellar of some sort, or other parts of the map like middle or second middle. Those little details just make the map so much more believable, and there's more in Inferno, like this bicycle shop. It just adds something to the map that previously wasn't present on Inferno. Just these little details sprinkled all across the map make Inferno so much more believable, even church from Bombsite B, which now looks so much more impressive than that ruin we had in CSGO. One thing we haven't really talked about so far is the Skybox, and I think comparing the two Skyboxes isn't really fair, to be honest. This is CSGO Skybox, and this is the 3D Skybox that we have in CS2. It is very stunning. We can see that a lot of buildings aren't even part of the Skybox, but are part of the map itself, which I think is quite an interesting choice. Something I want to highlight with the Skybox is the mountain in the background, which is visually very pleasing to look at, especially from apartments in second mid. And something else I also want to highlight is this specific town right here in the distance, which looks like this up close, and I think these buildings just add a lot to the Skybox itself. Believe it or not, Inferno has even more to offer, and this was something I was personally not expecting from an Inferno. This level of destruction and physics-based objects that you can shoot all about the place. There's honestly so much to destroy and just, like I said, just shoot all over the place. Flower pots, postcards, street signs, fruits. It's like Italy all over again, where you can make your own fruit salad. Inferno covers all fronts of destruction. Window fronts, wine bottles, and Inferno has a lot of wine bottles, especially in library, wine cellar, sorry. Vases, more glass, more signs, and so much more. Paintings. Inferno has you covered. I was especially surprised with the amount of physics-based objects on this map. While on other maps such as Overpass, Valve has removed a lot of the props that you could previously move, it's nice to see they're not moving entirely away from those. And to top it all off, we have the entrance to heaven. Or maybe this hell with this upside down stop sign. Valve, please fix. Overall, CS2's Inferno completely blew me away. It is such a beautiful map, visually stunning, and has to be my all-time favorite Counter-Strike map, period. It's been a lot of fun playing on it as well, which I think is quite important, and I'm not surprised that Valve has kept it as one of the last maps, and was kind of frustrated when players discovered it early on. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. I once again tried to write a script for it, so hopefully it wasn't too awkward and you enjoyed it, and it was informative as well, which is the most important part, of course. I will be streaming once again quite soon, so feel free to follow me on Twitch. And if you have some feedback how I could improve these type of videos, feel free to leave a comment down below, would be very helpful. And yeah, that's going to conclude today's video. I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.